Welcome. Good morning. It is Friday. Fantastic Friday. Welcome to the blockchain basement. Today is a very special episode. Been doing some deep thinking, some analysis on some of my favorite altcoin picks to move into with size. Now, we've taken some small positions on some of these projects, but also I've been waiting on the wings for the right time to strike for a few different reasons, and we're going to get into all that and more on today's show. Appreciate every single one of you out in the chat. Before we get into this brief, we have just a brief 30 minutes to go over everything before our 2 p.m. show. Want to remind everybody that this show is brought to you by Arculus, the powerhouse of self-custody in crypto. Make sure to use code BASE10 and click the link in the description to get your hands on one of these bad boys for yourself using 3-factor authentication to keep all of your assets safe and secure. Now, it's been a fast-moving day. I was up quite late last night just kind of thinking about my crypto portfolio, the positioning in general, and I have some pretty large updates. Now, I dropped a lot of the alpha in the Discord. You can join the Discord, become a member of this channel, join the Discord in the link down below. Dropped all the information there first and foremost, and really going to get into my mindset of why on the time frames and the overall positioning. But before we get into all that good stuff, make sure you are following me. I'm terrible at shilling myself here. Here's at Druth Crypto. Make sure to give me a shout out there. I talk to every single one of you. It's nice to get some faces to names to really get to know you. So make sure you give me a shout there. Nicole Ministator, good morning. Shake and Bake. Nicole, I got your message about the dual membership. We're going to be looking into that. Usually our membership tiers start at $4.99. That's the only setup we have right now. So I had a $6.99 one, so we got to see where that one's coming from. Shake and Bake, Bob from Accounting, Laser Face, ready to hit hot fire, James Slater. Welcome one, welcome all. And I do believe we're running on Rumble as well. Make sure you're dropping your mark there. But yeah, go ahead and follow me on the Twitters. I send some stuff. I'm a little spicy at times. I live in Antarctica, according to this thing. It's no big deal. Now this, from the Bitcoin side of life, where are we at? Chinese fund House Harvest Global Investment, issuer of the Bitcoin spot ETF for Hong Kong, now wants to officially extend the accessibility of its product to mainland China. This is huge. This is huge. It was almost too good to be true to think about the power and the opportunity for people within mainland China to get access to crypto. Pretty amazing to see. Absolutely love to see it. So, with this advancement, we did see a little bit lackluster response from the initial release of the Hong Kong ETF, but it is slowly picking up fire. They know they're a little bit behind BlackRock on the entry points, but at large, what we see right now is the options for Bitcoin ETFs to be expressed, the access in both NATO and BRICS countries. And they're going to hammer into this technology for backing of currency for a hedge against the just detrimental. It's a guaranteed decline of fiat. So, any large market manager understands this, and taking those positions into those assets is going to help in the long term. Now, this from Raoul Paul, quite a bit here, posted without comment. This is a global macro investor. This is his GMI Weekly Global Liquidity Index, and it gives a great scope. This is what what I mean by looking at the forest through the trees here. You get a large view of data going all the way back to about 2015. At the beginning, you can see the bull market of the end of 2017 absolutely coincides with this overall money flow in this money index, but it consolidates heavily between the time frame of the falling off in 2018, the beginning there, all the way up to when the good times became about for all in 2020 for risk assets at least. Now you see the consolidation triangle setting up in a very similar fashion. Now, at large, I'd expect a little bit of bounce, a little bit of this action before we really get the big juicy move up. But it is setting up, and history doesn't, mirror itself exactly, but it often rhymes. Looking at this graph, it's telling me a pretty similar tale. Now, with that, we look into the MACD for altcoins. This is from Tech Dev. It's absolutely awesome chart. Bi-monthly MACD cross with stochastic RSIs breaking 70 after a max compression. Wondering what comes next, right? Well, we look at this, even got your Bollinger Bands pushing in that nice compression here. And just to give a clear understanding, this is the total crypto market cap, excluding the top 10 projects. So this is all those risky biscuit plays that we've been hammering into, DCAing into, waiting for their time to shine. It seems that that time frame may yet be right around the corner. Now, we see a good compression in our current situation right now. You see this compression, which does date back quite some time, really at the beginning of that upswing in the bull market in 2020. You can see the MACD crossing into the green. Really didn't take much. Not a huge green spike. Honestly, you guys, I really think that the spike that we will experience in this coming bull market is actually going to be a lot juicier than this little nugget right here. It's a good sign of life. And right now, we are printing that first green candle on that LMACD. Absolutely juicy looking. You can see the stochastic RSI getting ready to break to the upside. There are so many different indicators popping off right now. It made me feel just a lot of FOMO, a lot of need to get well positioned in some of my favorite projects within essentially the next 20 days. I'm going to be laddering in and taking large chunks of the projects we're going to be looking at. Nicole Ministator talking about our meme coin bags. Now I got Tucker Gummy. It's still, you know, I love MAGA. I talk about it all the time. I didn't take a position. I actually took a position in Trump Pepe on Solana. That's actually, it's a community takeover. And if it works, I'm going to be buying a couple tanks with that one. But shout out to you, Nicole. Who's got the blockchain basement NFT? Quite a few up in here. Brother JT. Original NFT released to people that were part of the community when we were sub 15,000 subscribers. Things kind of got hot and heavy, kind of exploded. The channel went nuts after a few shorts just went to the moon. And here we are again, just continually building this awesome base of people. Now, we talk about things we're going to be taking positions on. There's a reason why a chunk of those positions I'm going to be taking is in the base ecosystem. This is from Franklin Templeton, talking about it becoming base season. One of the most important, most adopted layer 2s on Ethereum is now base, launching February 23. Just an oversight. Here is the base fees and sequencer gross margin, doing very, very well on the fees upswing and the sequencer margin. The USDC supply on base absolutely screaming to the north side. So now, when I'm looking at this and I'm analyzing this data from the larger macro picture, we saw this upswing while a lot of stable coins were actually leaving other ecosystems. There's a reason why I think base is going to be eating quite a few different projects lunch in the bull market. Now with that, there are two projects on today's list that are definitely entwined with base and the upswing to come for it. And I am extremely bullish on these things. So going to be taking my positions very soon. Now Kraken, just to highlight on the fight between the SEC, Kraken spotlighted the SEC's inability to identify investment contract in digital assets. They're going to be working on picking apart the words of the SEC and all of the Securities and Exchange Commission's arbitrage against altcoins. They know they can't go after Bitcoin. They're seeing what they can do with all the other ones. In my opinion, it's just a show to keep you away from the markets at large. But, you know, before, you know, I'll go into all the altcoins I'm going into. There's some things happening with Binance, folks. U.S. citizen has been detained in Nigeria. $150 million ransom is being demanded right now. The American and former federal agent Tigran Gambaran, now a Binance executive, has been detained in Nigeria for over 70 days. This is that story that broke quite a while ago. Still ongoing. Nigerian authorities, after inviting him for a business meeting, are allegedly demanding over $150 million for his release, threatening to transfer him to prison holding terrorists. The Biden administration, of course, has yet to respond to the situation because, you know, Joe Biden likely doesn't care about the human prospect of Americans being trapped in foreign nations. Binance CEO Richard Tang criticized Nigeria for setting a dangerous international precedent, sourced from Reuters. Not looking good. Here's a video of the guy. He's just talking about kind of what we just spoke about. He's pretty damn concerned. And he, at the end of this video, he's, you know, okay, they're going to take away my phone, you guys. Please get this message out. Please make it aware. Not looking good, pretty sketchy. And Nigeria demanding a ransom for the guy's release. Just a very sticky situation. Meanwhile, Binance and KuCoin have registered with India's Financial Intelligence Unit. KuCoin paid $41,000 fine and has resumed operations. Binance financial penalties are still to be determined after a hearing, and it's expected to resume operations after paying said fine. So a lot of fines, a lot of having to grease the wheel going on for the people at Binance, especially all that FUD that they've got to deal with now from the DOJ targeting them, going after them. It's been quite an uphill battle for Binance indeed. And, CZ been sentenced to 4 months, $4 billion to pay out. There's a lot of things, a lot of force involved with this situation. Very odd. So now, we see this on the macro, just a little bit on the world scale here. Javier Milei's accomplishments so far as the president of Argentina. A lot of people got upset with this guy. Inflation down to 11% from 300%. First quarterly budget surplus since 2008 for the country. Interest rate cuts 3 times, and the Argentine peso is the world's best performing currency. I think there's a lot of nuance in calling it the best performing currency, but it's good to see that Javier Milei is making an impact. Quite a polarizing, scary figure for the people that like things just to remain the same, to go how they should, keep it normal. He is definitely not doing so. And with this time frame, I talk about the MACD, this altcoin MACD, and we remember the upswing. Now this, I just got to set the context. This time frame right here, everyone thought that the world was going to hell, that you should just save all your money that you can, buy as much toilet paper as you can, don't invest in risky assets, right? Keep a bunch of fiat on your hands so that it can melt through your fingers through the form of quantitative easing and immense money printing and devaluation of your currency. Then the markets absolutely ripped. It took a lot of balls to move into altcoins, especially when they were saying those things to people. Now we have a similar situation still brewing in the background. We have the UN, World Health Organization, raising the alarm over cows and bird flu. In my opinion, they're blowing this out of proportion. The strategy is to reduce the cattle population through a pandemic crisis. They're saying that 1 in 4 Americans are going to be eliminated. The FDA and CDC are planning to release the bird flu. And this is according to Wall Street Silver, saying that they're planning to release it. That's how he read it. That's how, honestly, I read it too. But FDA preparing for bird flu pandemic that could kill 1 in 4 Americans. Here we go again. And here is the health FDA commissioner, Caliph. Absolutely despised this guy. If you haven't listened to his previous post or some of his videos, he's a very, very disturbing individual. And the fact that we're trying to take advice from this guy, not going to make it. So I'm not going to fall for that one either. Now, just on that prepping side, before we get in all the altcoins, be prepared and make sure that your generators are handled. Make sure that your power systems are up and running. There is a high-risk solar storm going on right now with a few coronal mass ejections. This can disrupt the power and electricity for the Earth. It did have 2 of those coronal mass ejections actually aimed towards the Earth. Here they are, just highlighted, going off. So NASA's watching that. We'll see if it actually comes to fruition. And it is something to actually take, seriously to a degree. It happens every few hundred years to the United States. So would not be good to see that go down. There's been a good number of humans who have contracted bird flu. Also, socials having a TB SoCal having a TB outbreak. What the hell, Bob from accounting? Holy God, you got to link me to those stories. And if the bird flu comes and it kills 1 out of 4 Americans, I can't hide from a bird flu. We can't live underground. You have to breathe air. If it's going to get me, it's going to get me. I'm going to be moving boldly forward regardless. So speaking of moving boldly forward, this radical left anti-Tesla mob attempting to storm the premise of the electric vehicle factory in Grudenheim near Berlin, Germany. Much bigger turnout for this than there was for the raid of Area 51. Very lackluster. They hyped up Area 51 raid very much. This one, at least they had, oh, look at they're holding hands. Oh my gosh, honey, it's going to be so good. We got umbrellas. Can't imagine they made it very far at all. So now that I've got all of the macro out of my system, let's dig into what we're going to do with the portfolio. Now, I'm going to start off with some of the projects that I'm going to be moving into with a larger, more sizable amount, and then move on through to the rest. But I am going to be starting to build exposure on this entire list. If I don't have exposure already, I do have some exposure to these things, but Ondo Finance, this is one. I'm going to look at just the overall price history. This is a 7-day, not too much price action on this, looking very, very flat, nice and ready. Now, this is the shelf that I'm always looking for. This is actually on the yearly time frame, dating back all the way to March. Now, essentially, this looks like a strong coil, a strong base level support for Ondo at 81 cents. Current market cap sitting at $1.1 billion. So there is plenty of room to the upside for this one. I will be moving a good portion into Ondo Finance. And, you know, if you're not familiar with Ondo Finance, just a quick highlight why. Here's the website. This is an RWA play. This is a project that's basically just involved with BlackRock, Ancura, Morgan Stanley, Mantle, Injective, Coinbase, and Anchorage Digital. Now, whatever happened to Yearn Finance? My God, you know what? Let's go find out if Yearn Finance is still alive. I remember that from the last bull market. Let's see here. YFI. This project went damn near to $100,000 a unit. Last bull market cycle for anyone that was around for it. Absolutely insane. Let's do the quick flash view. Market cap. I mean, God, maybe this one made no sense when it went to $80,000, dollars. I was watching that. I was like, why the hell is this happening? Sitting here at $6,900 might be a play, but I'm not going to be moving into this one. I'm more interested in Ondo, and primarily for the RWA asset movements that it can provide to BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, and even working with Coinbase on this. So that is number one, Ondo Finance. Let's move on to the next one here. Another big buy coming in from me on Aerodrome Finance. Checking out the overall graph. Here's the month. A nice rescinding. I did take a little bit of a profit here at around like $2. Aerodrome been a pretty violently to the upside performer over the past year, you can see. Now, of course, I missed the times where we were buying this thing at 18 cents. I very much missed that time frame, folks. But you know what? Franklin Templeton out here acknowledging the influx of stablecoin and activity to base. The silver spoon in the mouth given to base from Coinbase custody, damn near 500,000 Bitcoin for the ETFs, primarily BlackRock and Fidelity. This is giving me just the gut feeling that things built upon base, Aerodrome being one of the absolute cornerstones of base ecosystem. Now, we go to the website here. It's a central trading and liquidity marketplace for the base ecosystem. And, there's some people that complain about the difficulty. It's just a new protocol, folks. You got to just get used to it. The thing works pretty damn fast. And, Jeremy Photo just got some Ondo. Nice move. Where do people stake Arrow? I'm not a huge fan of staking. If we must, I'll go there. But, I like to keep control of my own assets. You can stake. I know Taco's been trying to talk to me about locking up my ICP. I believe the minimum on ICP staking is 6 months. So I just get a weird gut feeling. I was part of the whole, and Celsius. Celsius is where I get those nasty gut feelings from because of previous markets. I had staked like 5 Ethereum and I took the Ethereum out to buy a vehicle. I left just a tiny amount, like I think it was like a quarter of an Ethereum or maybe a half. They still have it, you know what I mean? And I am doing the process to actually get it back and pay to my PayPal, but I need to get a PayPal account to do so. Great. I'll be in and out on that one real quick because I don't trust PayPal as far as I can throw them. But Aerodrome Finance, folks, this is one that I'm going to be adding big time to my position with. And this is essentially why, we're hitting this. I feel like this spot right here at 90 cents will be able to act as the floor. Sure, it may be able to chunk down to this level at flat 90 cents, but look at the little hesitation the short-term resistance, drop to support, pump up, then come all the way back down. All the hype's done, all that stuff, and it's still holding this line, and our support is still there. Oh, just one article on the TB outbreak. Yes, JT, I still am holding DAG. I actually want to, DAG is one of those ones. It's a very Constellation DAG. This is a system that's really meant for data encryption. This one hasn't really done a whole hell of a lot. I mean, it pumped up to like 9 cents, back down to 3. So quite a volatile project. This one is a long-term portfolio hold for me. It's at 100 million, or right around $100 million market cap, relatively to the other projects. A small play. It's a risky biscuit play, but if Constellation DAG is actually able to follow through with Project Iron Spider and get utilized by the Department of Defense to encrypt communication systems across the board, there's insane upside for this thing. It is a pretty old project, been around for quite some time, and the previous all-time high was right around 37 cents. Sitting at 3 cents right now, I comfortably feel like we can get a 10x out of it from where it sits right now. But the market cap, so the market cap, it tapped out. It didn't even hit $1 billion, you guys. It hit like 470 million. Kind of a fart in the wind in relative terms in the last market. Stayed alive, got a actual partnership in testing its data encryption capabilities with the Department of Defense, and it's they have recommendations from the Department of Defense. We may as well, let's go into it. You know what I mean? Let's take a trip down DAG lane here. This is their door miner. You install this, the DTM Lite, and it basically just utilizes traffic and is a actual miner. It's kind of the part of the DPIN narrative. As you see DPIN become a bigger thing, you're going to see this more and more. Now, on the federal side, you go to learn. On the federal side, this is where the fun, they go yada yada, we're so great. They literally have recommendations from some of the biggest military organizations in the United States. They work with the Air Force, Space ISAC, pretty damn big deal here. And you keep going down to all the way, where is it? Did they move this? The Benjamin Diggles, this is the founder and CEO. Guy is an absolute G, extremely intelligent, well plugged in, and it seems like they just know. They're working with the Digi Foundry, all these different organizations that are coming together and working as a consortium to increase data encryption and security within finance and communications at large. But here is the U.S. Air Force letter of support for Constellation DAG. They still got that support. They're still working with Iron Spider, and yes, I am still indeed holding. That is a absolute bull market hold. Now, we move on to the next project. This is a base ecosystem project as well. This is Seamless. This is the daily price action. But here on the 7-day, very flat. Very, very flat. And we have the month, it had a short-term spike up to $7.80. Back down to $5.88 where it's at right now. But this spells opportunity to me. When I see a yearly graph like this in a project that's part of an ecosystem that's actually outpacing the other ecosystems, this is an undiscovered gem, in my opinion. Someone is asking me about the token unleash, the self-reporting supply. I'm not horribly worried about that at this point. And the size of bag that I'm building, I'm not going to be throwing the whole house at it. Just a good allocation to make sure I have some exposure. This thing is a small market cap of 87 million, and part of the larger lending and DeFi protocol built out on Base. Meanless, Seamless. Damn it, Meanless. I should find his name and unban him just so Nick freaks out. No, I mean, he actually almost won an election here on the basement. A very, very close call, but Seamless. This is another one that I will be allocating to this weekend. Now, next, XSwap. XSwap I have to have some exposure to. Now, this one's very volatile. You have to keep that in mind. This is CCIP cross-chain swaps, an $8 million market cap, extremely small. If it has a good move and really captures some momentum in the market, this is going to be stupid, insanely bullish. But you really only have about 7 days of information on this token. I didn't want to buy it at the initial release, my God, because as you can see, it was well up there, 39 cents, and has since fallen down, trying to find its level of support. It seemed like the lowest spot that it was able to hit was 10 cents. sitting here at around 16 cents, not too far up from its initial release. And this is why you wait just a bit to get a good feel for the true bottom for these things once they release and they're new. New tokens have major advantages because there's a lot of upside. Their market caps are small, but that initial release, you got to watch the hell out for that thing because, sometimes it's 6 times what the actual buying level floor is for the project truly at. And, essentially from where it's at right now, I think that the dust has settled a bit and I'm feeling a lot more comfortable getting into XSwap now that I've got a little bit more data. This is chain swap as well, C swap. If you can't tell, I'm huge on swapping systems. I think that interoperability is going to be a major player in the coming next few years for crypto. Yes, we're trying to build out Web3, and ICP is probably going to take over everything and be the internet Web3 of crypto, but that's likely going to happen right around, after this bull market. It would be too good. It'd be too damn good if ICP was able to just take over everything. 11 Trufy, another Chainlink project that is actually, it's up on my radar to be doing this weekend as well, sir. So Truflation, it's a very, very cool project. I love what they do. They bring the real data and statistics about inflation to the masses, trying to wake the people up here, trying to shake the sheep alive. And it's showing a pretty damn good buying opportunity right now. If I'm just looking at this, sitting right there at the floor, 51 cents is essentially right where that jackknife down to. Now, it did go below that momentarily for 46 cents, but you got to keep in mind, like the graph I just showed you, a lot of these have that deep little correction because Bitcoin took a big old sneeze, took a big old nap, went down from $72,000 all the way to 59, I think even as low as 57. And with that, you had altcoins really taking the beat down, but this gives opportunity for those that are willing to take the risk. Now, the next one, Near Protocol. This is completely wrong because I am well exposed to Near, but you know what? Not damn enough. I need to get more Near. Essentially, when we look at the all-time graph for Near, there's a few things that make me very, very happy about this project's tokenomics. As you can see, the circulating supply and total supply right damn near each other. Essentially most, if not all, it's right around like 95% of the tokens are out already. The market cap, pretty large, okay, $7.9 billion. So this is definitely the biggest market cap of the projects that I'm looking to add to. Thing is that, I'll pull this up real quick. When you look at market cap, the market cap tapped out at $11 billion last cycle, or right around 12. Just under 12, 11.9 billion. It's built a shelf out. I'll get my face out of the way so you can see this. This is the all-time graph. Keep in mind, it's shelf that it had built out before the big pump and then lost it momentarily. 21. I mean, this shelf way down here, the new shelf that it has built before the real altcoin season began, much, much higher. Near, I feel like it is conservative to be looking at this graph. I think that the AI connection and the NVIDIA connections that Near have right now are going to be very, very good for it, especially as they realize that all of the data on AI is going to be need to put somewhere. You can do it for much cheaper and much more interoperable on things like Near, on things like ICP. We're sitting at an $8 billion market cap right now. I think 6xing its previous all-time high is child's play for this thing. I think, I was doing the kind of analysis on Near last night, really comparing it to the upside potential for Chainlink. I think that for my starting to sell point for Near, once we breach a $50 billion market cap, but essentially I feel like it's pretty conservative to be looking for around a $70 billion market cap at the true peak of the cycle. So making sure to build out my Near bags because of that. Now, some things on, I have to wait for these next two projects because they have something coming up for it, something that might actually affect the price in a pretty big way. And that first one is Sui. So I think Sui got a strong development team, comes from a development team that was actually getting prepared to handle 1 billion customers utilizing digital assets, the form of Facebook's Libra. Crypto, don't let crypto stress you out there, but we got the game plan figured out here. Oh, shake and bake. No. with Shake and Bake having a hard time out on the charts. I'm sorry about you, brother. Now here on SWE, we have an upcoming event. 20 days from now, it's going to have a token unlock, and that can be shown in a visual representation here. So, you know, SWE, sure, it's been great. The price action's been pretty damn good, but I am waiting to see how this token unlock shakes out for price action. Let's go and give a quick glance to SWE. See where we're at. Yep, right around $1. Opportunity zone being built out there, showing a real similar thing. Look at that. If you just, you see the real big dip here and a strong upswing. Now it's essentially back to where it was when it released. Not too shabby. Get a good amount of data and can really feel out what I'm expecting for this thing. But I'm expecting a 20 days, you know, to see a little bit of a pullback, and then I'll be snagging up my bags. But sure, I might be wrong, and this thing will resend and then pull back once that unlock happens. But I've got to wait until that unlock actually happens before I feel comfortable getting into it. So now, the other one that I must add to my bag. This is a competitor of Chainlink that I've been watching for some time. Now we have Pyth Network. Now Pyth Network, this is another Oracle. Yeah, you know, we have a lot of potentials that really oracles might be deemed useless once they get a true Web3 and interoperability system built out, and you don't need an oracle to talk to Web2 anymore. But for the time being, we're not there, folks. In this one, I'm going to be adding to my bag because of its use case in the current time frame. Has an unlocked in 9 days coming up here. You can check out the graph just for a quick visualization of that. It's going to be hopping on a shelf of circulating tokens that will last until May of 2025. So we'll hop over here to the old crypto market cap. I'm going to type in PIF, and I hope I'm saying it right. 59 or 50 cents, 49 cents right now. Again, another opportunity zone. We go, this is the monthly. Get my head out of the way. Go to the yearly, and hot damn, that is just looking gorgeous right now. Really, really liking this buy level for PIF. Thankfully, we only have to wait 9 days to see if it absolutely just falls off a cliff once those tokens are released. Should it not fall, I mean, even if it does fall off a cliff, I'm buying that. Let's be honest. But I am going to wait 9 days from now before I add to the position on PIF. I need to have good competitors to Chainlink. Still holding a really good amount of Chainlink, but you know, at this time frame in the last bull market is when I kind of started chunking out some of my Bitcoin, some of my Ethereum into the more aggressive projects, and it turned out to be a really great move. So that's all. That's what I'm going to be doing here. And yes, Wildcat, I am a tubby mofo. I am like 250 pounds, I guess. You know, so I've been adding some. I eat. You know what I mean? I definitely eat, and I like to stick it out. You know what I'm saying? I like to get like that. But appreciate every single one of you out in the chat. Make sure to raid. We're going to be raiding Discover Crypto. Show them the love from the blockchain basement. We work together. We all lift each other up. That's right. I'm going to be boxing today too, so I'm going to be sweating a lot. Yes, I am tall. Okay, I get it, Nicole. You know, I like being thick. If you ain't 250 pounds out here, I'm in Talladega country. If you ain't 250, you ain't shit. So I had to kind of up my game on the foods, and my wife's been treating me real well on that. So appreciate every single one of you out in the chat ready to hit hot fire. Mo Money, Bob from accounting, CMG, Nicole Ministator, Wild Cad, Break Nation Sports. Love all of you. Oh, hold on. Kryptonic, what is your view on the 5.3 Bitcoin theory? You know what, Kryptonic? I'm going to do a deep dive into that right now, and we're going to go after all of that in today's show at 2 p.m. But until then, I bid you all adieu. Goodbye.